Mr. Chairman, notwithstanding some periods of instability, the cedi has been persistently declining in value since independence in 1957. In fact, if figure 1 comes up, you would see from the screen that graphically the cedi appears to be reaching for the sky. And in fact, you would see that there's apparent stability from 1957 to the 1980s is partly because of control regime that you see there and the scale of the graph. But essentially since 1957, the cedi has been on an upward trend. At independence, the West African pound was the legal tender. The exchange rate was equivalent to 73 pesos to the US dollar. By 1983, we were at 52 cedis to the dollar. By 92, it was 520 cedis to the dollar. By 2000, it was 7,047 cedis to the dollar. By 2008, we had reached 11,900 cedis, or 1.19 Ghana cedis to the dollar. And by December 2013, we were at 2.2 Ghana cedis to the dollar, or 22,000 old cedis to the dollar. As at March 21st, we had reached 2.63 or 26,300 to the dollar, and today we are at 26,400 to the dollar as we speak. Cumulatively, Mr. Chairman, between 1965, when the cedi was introduced and traded at 1.04, to today, the cedi has lost 99.99% of its value against the US dollar. Mr. Chairman, this rate of depreciation of the cedi against the US dollar in 2014 has been at an unusually fast pace. Since 2013, we've seen a very fast pace of depreciation. The cumulative depreciation of the cedi in 2013 was 14.5%. But in just the first quarter, and we are not even quite at the end of the first quarter of 2014, the cedi has depreciated by 16% so far. For a small open economy like Ghana, this trend is worrying because these massive depreciations in the currency end up increasing the cost of living and the cost of doing business. The exchange rate is a significant component of the pricing of utilities and petroleum products. It means that other things equal, if the exchange rate depreciates, we can all expect to pay more for utilities and petroleum products and virtually for all other goods and commodities. There is, however, an argument some economists make that exchange rate depreciation is actually good for the economy to the extent that it creates an incentive to increase exports relative to imports and thereby improves the balance of payments. Notwithstanding the massive nominal and real depreciation of the cedi over the years, however, exports have not quite increased proportionately. So it really means that the exchange rate alone may not be sufficient as a policy tool to achieve export competitiveness. Mr. Chairman, this persistent rate of depreciation of the cedi must be looked at against what is happening to other currencies in the global economy. Take, for example, the US dollar against the British pound during the same period. At the end of 1965, the pound-dollar exchange rate was $1.59 to the pound, 1.59. From 1965, we go to 2012, and the dollar-pound rate is 1.614. So a cumulative appreciation of about just 1.5% over a 48-year period. So you see that over 48 years, you see that the dollar has depreciated against the pound by just 1.5%. 1.5%. Now you look at what has happened between the cedi and the dollar in exactly the same period. In fact, the dollar has appreciated against the cedi by 2 million %, if you can think about that. So it's a really difficult situation that we face. The CFA franc zone countries, our neighboring countries, in the CFA franc zone like Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal, Mali, Togo, have also attained relative exchange rate stability, underpinned by a fixed exchange rate arrangement with the French franc and now with the euro. In fact, between 1999 and 2014 and today, the CFA franc has actually appreciated in value against the US dollar. It has gained 19% against the US dollar in this period, whereas we were losing 99% of our currency. If you look at Hong Kong, between 1983, when the Hong Kong Monetary Authority established the currency board system, between 1983 and today, the exchange rate of the Hong Kong dollar to the US dollar has been fixed at 7.83 Hong Kong dollars to the US dollar. The question we must ask ourselves, Mr. Chairman, is how come some of these economies with both fixed and floating exchange rate regimes are able to maintain such durable stability of their exchange rates while the cedi continuously is depreciating? This is the question that we are facing in Ghana today. How can we stop the ongoing depreciation of the cedi? To get at the solutions to this problem, however, one would have to make an appropriate diagnosis, because a wrong diagnosis will lead to a wrong solution. The recent depreciation of the cedi has resulted in several explanations being offered from both official and non-official sources. And one cannot blame people, because people are really confused. Not too long ago, we had graduated from HIPIC. We were a middle-income country. We had accessed the international capital markets, and we had discovered oil. And we were very, very optimistic about the future. And all of a sudden, today, the picture is very different. So in our collective frustration to understand what is happening to the cedi, there has been a sudden increase in the supply of economic analysts with all sorts of theories and pontifications. Some of the explanations for the current depreciation of the cedi include the weak economic fundamentals and the loss of confidence in the economy. Others have pointed to dollarization as the cause of the depreciation. Some have pointed to the colonial structure of our economy as the cause of it. Some have pointed to the redenomination of the cedi in 2007 as the cause of this depreciation. Others have said it is the single spine salary system which has caused the depreciation. Some have also mentioned that the current US monetary policy of the reduction in the quantitative easing has resulted in the depreciation. Now, we've had some other very interesting explanations. Some have said that the dwarfs and juju men, high-rise buildings, and even a sign of the end of the times of the world is really what is causing the depreciation of the cedi. Mr. Chairman, I will start with the explanation that relates to the weak economic fundamentals and the resulting loss of confidence in the economy as the factor explaining the recent depreciation of the cedi. When we talk about the fundamentals, we are talking about developments in the real sector of the economy, what is happening to growth, real growth in the economy, what is happening to the public finances, what is happening to the monetary sector, inflation and interest rates and so on. And then what is happening to the external sector, our balance of payments, our reserves, and so on. These are the fundamentals that underpin the economy. And we want to take a look at these developments to see how they relate to the depreciation of the cedi. So I look at the real GDP growth or economic growth in this economy. Mr. Chairman, at the heart of any effort to transform the economy is accelerated and broad-based growth. If you don't have accelerated and broad-based growth, you cannot really transform the economy from where we are sitting today. The reality, however, is that real GDP growth in Ghana, notwithstanding the onset of oil production, has declined significantly since 2011. So over the last 3 years, we have been seeing a decline in real GDP growth. Data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that real GDP growth increased, as you see, from 8.4% without oil in 2008 and reached 15% in 2011. And this is where you see the peak in this graph. This basically is the result of oil production. Since 2011, however, real GDP growth has slowed down. So we went from 15% in 2011 to 7.9% in 2012, and now we are talking about a projected growth for 2013 of around 5% and most likely low.
All right, Dr. Mahmoud Baum, you are restoring the value of the cedi lecture, no? Anna Odama, so you know, a visiting professor of economics, economic governance, Central University College, or no na wakasano. Interpretations, no, beyond any DSC, who know, Bolshevik economy, Ghana going HEPIC, you cannot just rule out a personality like Dr. Baumia na analysis or yeah, but somewhat you can also punch reasonable holes into it when you do your analysis. You know, and on the other hand, but this also a crowd is also Odiwadun Chirebas on TSA any Dr. Baumia Nensema or the Etudre. It has also restoring the value of the cedi na aquatri, you know, emoya hano. Yeah, na asa managina hoyi no odesihye bi egu akwanmu a ebre be ma wahibi but making cancel ewa ha edi amount ma make obi text message line 1760 na odi abre sa empese mujumedi wo bedwam Adom TV so no because Lucky Herbal Clinic for one of the roma ya de bi adane kran down so bi odi kodom Lucky Herbal Clinic one ebo akone sayina so he na kire kwan aguna swedro contemporary so uhu Lucky Herbal or sa pepepe odo ni kire kaswa so nyanya adokwa no so uhu mo obodu nkran Kaneshi First Light ano so obehu Lucky Herbal on mujina Accra Academy ni monma wo hwe wanim so sa uhu Lucky Herbal e wo honom ma menka obi say text message line 1760 na odi abraham yet medi inkita ho kama become edu enum ama non kono bo a ebepeja mu ewa anum se na fe yewo nkomo foforo bi wo so a ebedi ansa na kosi asafo akantimpo so odi efisem dwumedi na abetoa so ama na ebra non kono bo ekopem se nondu ebemu adopen mesaka obo na amwako oko apa denchira Easter ono no emra shebe nyi ho a ogina adehia ewo san peso ano so wona na emu ɛwɔ mmarahyɛ badwam deɛ ɛdi kan ni a badwam dwumadie nso ɛne no ɛdi nkita ho ne nsa wɔ so ɛno megyere sɛ mo a mohwɛ ne mo a motie nyinaa bɛboa me na yɛma Nana Amoako apa Denkyira East Akwaaba Nana makye Akwaaba nso yɛgye adi sɛ saa yɔnkofo yi bɛtoa so saa ama biribi abɔkɔɔ deɛ
Nyame adom biribi abɔkɔɔ
constituency bɔkɔɔ constituency challenges bɛn na constituency
constituency deɛ ɛhɔ deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ a ɛha yɛ paa yɛ akwan ɛyɛ kwan nsɛm deɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ deɛ rules na ɛwɔ hɔ no nyinaa no nyɛ ɛno ne main problem a ɛwɔ Upper Denkyira East nti ɛno na ɛsɛ yɛhwɛ na ɛdi ho
anammɔn bɛn na wankasa ne womansin krakye ɛne kuropɔn nyinaa soafoɔ mɔtu fa saa kwan ho sɛsɛm
yɛtu anammɔn ara kɔkyire mene krakye nso wɔ hɔ na yɛ adamamilia yɛdi nkita ho na nkora president ba hɔ na yɛde tu n'anim no aso ɔka kyerɛ no sɛ ɛkwan a wɔga na nyinaa asɛ nti yɛn yɛ ntoboase kakra nti mmerepa mu no bɛduru hɔ
wona wode saa nkyerɛ mu no ato so anaasɛ saa na
president kae
na na hwɛ ne yio because wɔyɛ mampanyin asɛm na woka no
ɔmampanyin
sɛ mo de adesrɛdeɛ ato mampanyin anim no deɛ ɔhwɛ a moka kyerɛ mu no sɛ ɛkwan a wɔ Ghana nyinaa asɛe
ɔsɛ kwan na ɛwɔ Ghana no ne nyinaa asɛe na ɔmgu so a ɛyɛsiesie na ɔbɔ sɛ ɛde firi Bogo so ɛba yɛ amfrɛ deɛ no ɔmɔɔyɛ nti no mmerepa mu no sɛnea obiara nya ndeɛ no yɛn nso yɛnsa bɛka yɛ deɛ
I see. None of you are satisfied with this response.
Oh, so my opinion, yen me no, and as in Ghana in general, no, yen say how much rubber. It's custom. A quan yen idea that for. Oh, you mean the American? Maybe them say a quan before be a bit me road and yadikato.
I said no, and you know, Casamoson shows
and Chevys, but maybe you know, actually, no, ya kwan some no, ya share man asay akɔkyere. Nti sɛ wo hwɛ adeɛ nso na sɛe na eduru pɛmpɔnso bi a woyɛ ho hwɛ nyɛ. Nti ɛsɛ wonya ntoboaseɛ na wo sɛ asiesie foforo. Nti bi a eduru no sɛ so wafa yɛ kwan no so a wofa ɔboaseɛ de badu kwan no so sɛ ya. Ɛm sɛ kwan tuma na me yakora na me kɔ Sunday school no. The feeding kwa boase, I'm taking 15-20 minutes. This time around, no take an hour and a half. Somebody feeding kwa boase.
Is that because they don't press us for because any pium kwa bema buying tea was seven. There's what we had you because when the man see crash kaboom, now the crouponing na swap for kaboom. Now a new year man paid the man and say a coin in us, the train do so. More pim cassipani.
Yeah, pimpa into your gususo. Yɛde ɔmo so ɛhwehwɛ ɛkwan fa so a ebetumi ayɛ saa akwan no nti mfi sɛ ɛnkyɛ
ndaso
ndaso deɛ so ɛno na yɛde ma nipa nso wokɔ w'anim sɛ wonni ndaso deɛ a wontumi nkɔ w'anim nti ndaso deɛ bi wɔ hɔ nti bɔ ndaso sɛ mmerepa mu no ɛnkyɛ ɛkwan no ɛwɔ mbɛyɛ
ndaso wɔ hɔ under this administration awɔ administration na woka
oh sɛ menka administration sɛ bi a NDC and MPP but mo ndaso sɛ
as we speak now, probably by the time of 2016, so when you extension got 2020 and no mandate first year term mandate no meeting my BBO.
He said we are 2015 budget because you see I'm being who are actually a budget mambo to me. Okay, and he be to me who na he said coming. Yeah,
but probably where did it finally on your constituency, you know, more live or more testimony to a reflection of the advancing the better Ghana agenda our constituency one.
Oh, then they're home face out.
Oh, there be any possible. Oh, now my paper on one baby dance here, baby and the dance or the new maybe a go aquema, HTS and Nipano, a harrow person.
Mr. May
cannot be possible.
Oh, may who sir? May who be something who be some so because when she was a I did when I see her. Some more TV crew for. But to me, I got say, Edis for Ababa.
You are not having a feel about Amamu no Shunsu so I echo so say, Ubisa.
Oh, me Ubisa. Because there was a gold mining area. And say recently in a almost said, can say a Palmer Chinese for China for. The most of the time, no more holding in every chrono. The American Prano, to 2% crap, but still activity is possible.
I see. Into you're comfortable with as my work actually what this my situation I hopeless and helpless. And now we are no.
Oh, me and hopeless the bad said that you say that's all. Say any party over that over sorry no. So want to me and yan that's so be okra no over that no to me sorry. And you say oh one that's what say feel you my crana next year a bay. Say na say afraid so near kwa sorry. Ya kwashebo. Say I feel no be me to me anye. It ya fear the me to me aye.
I see. A good job Fansman Afi, Deputy Minister and so fishes, area corners, ya in your offer. All of our say.
I never know.
And now see all of them are upper the China East, the Maini, advancing the better gun agenda this year.
Oh, yeah, Tikaka. Our Mamindina, you do not mintia, Etifuna, Oma Witty or Duncan often. Yeah, you know, more Witty or Mankisim, Salt Pond, and Unquaduna, a woman arching. I'm there, Abra president by Central Region, and I'm a can be near bay. Now, some Nana Oracle has this year. Oh, Mamma, I then, Muha boom, Kakra. O Sunday, as some work at the president is there, you can't organize in our say, no way. Master, or literally be sent there, or paraphrase another Nakasa, them the president can. Oh, you bring them the president again. President is there. No, president, you know, as some work will do Quano when you're there. Inquiring in our what says in no, what tablet in our Omayimu, quite major road because okay, there them Dunkwao to Obwasi Road is an economic road. Until we capture all those roads are Obobo Modena why then. Why one can the Ghana acquiring in our say into Wabe. What's there? Those economic road there, from equal Western region, from Bodie to Asenkregwa, you know, to Enche. All the way to say you also come in. Those them can economic road because needs by do now no fiba. Them can na wa captain in na eba central regional. Dunkwao. Atasi to Obwasi Ayamfure. Them connecting roads. You know okay. There one can there Ghana kwani na what is the Ghana kwani na anye. Nti se mo mudin ya munya buten obeya mamu. I mean, how insensitive can the president be?
But I don't know. Can
them look in a miss? On an intercession, them say, oh, they be sent question there on an intercession, and not the president. He was paraphrasing it. Would be sent there, them the president can, and now on an intercession, also them the president in the can.
But I honorable member, there's an understanding is what you feed onto the people. We need to just.
That is why I'm setting the record straight here and there. Maybe there could be no. I say, I was with the president's entourage, Oko Central Region. As I say, until at the end of the day, President Wankade in Kwano Organing in I say, until I would say, I would tell in Bribaba, you them not kind. And we all know the essence of that road, especially them Obwasi to Dunkwa Onofin Road. As I say, even they have plans of even expanding the bridge. You know that. Plans are mine. No, if you go to no, master, plans near the plans in by another that bridge. How old is that bridge?
It's colonial time now.
How old is that bridge? But we had you were there when your government was in power. You were still an MP. No MP. I brand new government when you know MP. Why the 1 year bridge in Amao? You know because there right now all those connecting bridges in if you like, for Ministry of Road and Highways. Not this one there. All the bridges, there's still bridges in Adeno. Sedunkwao bridge on Kanwa. It's part of the bridges that will be constructed this year. As I say, at the end of the day, if you have budget anymore, it wasn't detailed there. We are building this bridge, but still bridges across the
country.
Across the country, they made provision for that. Nancy Anthony Ekobwe as in president. It's part of the central region. If you're central region development, their place, it's a man because they're there.
That's price on town on Saturday.
No,
that's 209.
No, 209. But when you, but in the maker there, what cut is 209. But when we, my sister, when we at home, yes, in the maker there. Once I was within what capture what people doing. We need to what starting with you. Also within
this year. I should take your word and say this year.
Miss there, I just say, in Bonya Misumbu.
This year, only
GDA wa mamu and said the official political talk the president because they're okay then also done him and pay.
Oh, yeah, done no. And yeah, political talk. Said you see no. The moment here say, no. So you. I don't know what you say. I no. So say a crown.
I'm telling you what the president says. We can the president in the okay. I in the intercede. I demand no.
Oh, no.
It's a phone call. Feedback.
No,
it's probably straight in there.
Me, I was with the entourage.
Okay. Right.
President the entourage was Central Region. I was part of the entourage.
So apart from road construction, I told you yeah, now you say the constituency needs because the whole kind the presidency are going in our side there. Apart from that, then the president.
Ghana, especially Dunkwa and Casano, Omobo, your homoding. They can be sure Omoniana, happened to for. Your boy homoding, oh. And this year, even Central Region is one of the poorest regions of Africa. And as in Ghana itself, away. But Appadensha normally, and Cleveland, here can for young coastal belt because of Nyoma, Agudiane, and Yane, all those after the honorable can. Who are the free? It's about 3 rows. Bakono ko oboase. Bakono sofa chufupraso. ABC ayase. Na bakono sofa chufupraso ABC chichiware. This is the 3 rows. Linya is on top.
Wow.
And this is open to Cape Coast. That's the original capital. And if so, you told you Cape Coast from Dunkwa. Normally, it will take you best 1.5 hours. You take about 4 hours to get a Cape Coast.
Okay. The national issue.
Yeah.
President Bashir was. But party also Nanado says we started bottom top approach. I say abe o man sikasemo. Nanado declaration and apparently from one professor and so I didn't say me but to join JBA. Other people also and then they started with Nanado say we are Nanado supporter.
Set me MPP ni first.
We are Nanado supporter.
Always that question is we are the supporter. Me MPP ni me MPP for supporter. So there ebeko ma omano etumpom. The ebeko ye ama ye party no. The be obebe biera and visit or standing the values of the party no. We are supporting.
Well, that's very clear. Say one member she will for the party pay for the food soldiers. Yes, Momo can say no, Nana, no 2016, no, Nana, no vote. What is wrong with probably accepting the iron? The can what be?
Oh, say the Oko constituency.
Domoke canon.
Oti. Unam Kruma. Oti.
Domoke canon.
Domoke canon.
Do you understand? Apart from saying no, Nana, no.
Said you drew her. When they are Koto Baba.
But once you believe in the principles of the new patriotic party, they already can see here. It is what said you don't know Casa Nana. I don't know what you will do.
Which you move now. Do you know? As Opie what is there? As a supporter than now.
But the also your more canon.
Said you what see the canon. Eti na the PBA or the party and fees a boy in. But to me, so on Siciano, on cover forms. What declares our intention.
But you don't know him say. You don't know him say.
That's assumption. And copy time back of the forms. It's a long way.
But preferably, no cover person and a can form MPP 2016.
Oh, yeah. And there are no question about it.
And also, so one Casa constituency home tomorrow.
Because was there. And yet, who contested a year. So, what because say, oh, Seigneur, assume a seer. Want to about many panel. That you don't have a message. Because there's no stand to say, idea won't who na improvement unless you be a bayama or more at home. In our contest,
maybe from charge say, Mamma, you could acquire a didi. Into no one is a didi enough for the and they will any idea. Sadidia, Edna, Obu, Whisper, and Obu, or so we are the people of Abidiana. Idea is on president of, say, you who's a fear Bushiawi, and the idea. Just stands now there. I don't know could the old year and Nanado. Say, over 2016.
If you want to state on record straight, say, you to that point.
That is not the issue. But the reality is what you are saying, say, don't want to cast an ad. You don't have a challenge.
Me don't have no challenge. I don't have any problems.
The police surprise 2016 before election, any new face bar. What do you think of the party? How do you think the party will be like?
Oh, the party will still be MPP because you see, problem you want to say, Teviano, the party is bigger than any of us.
Okay.
Senanadu, I mean, Pengu, Onihua, so the party doesn't exist.
That's the picture more painting.
No, it's not a picture we are painting. Who's a political, novice, and maybe it takes some time to build political career. No product image. So project it takes some time. And this year, look around, sir. Who's a if is a year 2016 a good year, then we should bring a new face and prepare him. Then we sell to the guy.
So as it stands now, Nonado is bigger than the party.
It's not bigger than the party. Nobody's bigger than the party. Nobody. Because the party first. It's the party, you came from the party. And they ask you to stand down. I don't believe
I'm sure you are mindful of Onsama Kafa Nanado MPP one pay because the understanding is that mafia be a system now. If you go like this, down to Minka, they also a system now.
Mafia the baby. You see, mafia. You see a perception. Mafia. Who's mafia?
Mafia.
Okay. If you go to Italy, that's where the mafia people lives.
I see.
So all the mafia, no, as no. It is a any group, even cry himself, if you cry.
Yeah.
So it see or in a crown. A group baby or between the
okay.
But we still have a group of people who are most support to back on the chain. I don't just say, oh, you might be ODB.
Every people, can the Paku or Modrini say, oh, this current executive says he's swimming in a good baby because more departed.
In general, may me view this men ye side no money. But I hear say constituency and as a party no every 4 years we are 12 by any part. Now, so person build structures are sometimes they say we leave some structures there. So foundation no is stronger. Then you could build on it.
But this present executive, their table they've been labeled.
You see, who label will be here. The consequences there. It's for the party also. From 1992, 10-year chairmanship assistant. So I'm sure NDC for now. For the past 3 terms in now, I think it's security here and Dr. J. They are there. And it's a mistake because no more they build on that. People should have confidence in people on the
authority. But it's like too grievous. We have heard we have that is a good time. Many times.
All those people are members.
So charge chairman for
NDC for Bekobi, Portfolio, Comrade Ajay, the country. But I say to me, say, and you know, the charge of the book be there. Senipa no, a senior yard, say, Sanipa win. So, dear Nima,
Bobo party.
Me personally,
executive.
Personally, you see, we are putting so much blame on the executives. So we need
to go to Danko Institute for one.
Any fun to baby has so. Here, say MP. O contest seat, you have to be serious about it. Yeah, can say it's a fault of the MPs themselves.
That's what you believe.
Because my constituency, for a fact, I have to stay in the Correction Center for 2 days. Normally, you declare elections here, 2 Abani, we are by 11 o'clock you declare. But this time around, no, I have to stay there. Tell my 2 Abani, you know, here count. Presiding electoral officer, no home. In your 2 year resource correlation. A board bears 2 was a Nanukum, Yankoda. Now they change, Baba. And now we can say, no, Yankoda. Let me say 10 officers anyway. Yes, what about that? So, I'm saying, how? I didn't know that resource to be mine. I'm saying, 10 officers anymore, but that was so. Resource to be mine. Who's going to correct them and bring it? Is that the one for can I'm doing now in Kofa resource in Famra? ADHD or how people are coming about, oh, Yahoo. There's a lot of things that went on. So, say, what the blame the two executives for no so you are being unfair to them. Own partners say you have to play. They say have a role to play. Everybody have a role to play. But yes, the Trump edema. I don't think it's fair.
I see. Do over Tamale 12 April.
Oh,
over trauma why? Well, I
know dear. I know dear. Oh, me say.
But I don't see why another way your challenge. That is what you believe can change the party. So why do you have to?
And this is what created some of the problems. You clearly support for somebody at right.
What I don't think you are rather helping the party to make the right choice.
No, you are not helping the party. You see, your choice may not be right for somebody else. So you can talk to people.
But your endorsement of Nanadu here, you don't say the right for the masses.
No, I didn't endorse him. I said
that is what the
masses are saying. Since you have been called to the masses and say on the grounds or not, you do what you see. We have election last time I here on Cabo. So youth organizer. Somebody didn't even know Cabo. But at the grounds now, his presentation, and then some few things I advise for Cabo, that, and then everybody says, oh, Cabo. Then we, just went there, you was very much in the ground. So 80 presentation at the place, could also change that of mind.
All right, 2016, Usha party ready for power.
Oh, yeah, ready for power.
Right,
but we need some few things also. We need to be united.
All right, that's it. Man can be, another person can be.
Oh, it's epidemic.
Oh, just bear 2-3 minutes about say come on, Eddie. Me yes was over trap boundary, but we didn't come.
What's the question also? What didn't you no, I mean, Mami Kedi. Oh, there.
Oh, come party as well.
Come party as well. So party no go obey me yaw. Say MPP in there was MPP we go obey me yaw.
Okay.
Because one and all be to about me waka say most more say. I mean, we need people like that always around. That I say. Inti me I always pray for my enemies to have life. So that they will live long to see what I will be in future.
That's it.
Because whatever is happening in MPP, I think is good for them. Because say but in a kunu shame. Inti oya some same businesses or party na obu na oye ono no obua mo bia hu bebi odilitiri odirifa e most my identity emi from day one abra na natural call landing wa ba minim there definitely oba bekedo contest that one I know because I saw life in him then there obi oboko there obaba na bekedo maybe why go into onunkobium meaning I knew Nana would come and I know there's no way anybody in MPP anybody in MPP can beat Nana at the primaries. No way, because he's become larger than the party, like you are trying to say. Because it's your MPP, the assistant Nana's personal party. That's the thing. No, Nana, no vote. Master,
Nana's personal party.
Yeah, that's the thing. But you just say no, Nana, no 2016.
No, Nana, no 2016.
So put Nana aside and see that you have MPP. If you put Nana aside,
we will have
no
MPP. Maybe we may go in and lose the election. But that's why you don't have MPP.
Because we may have MPP, but we will go in to lose the election 2016.
That is what? Is it Americano?
No, Nana, no MPP.
Yeah, it's why and then Nana's personal party.
It's not personal party.
Because at the end of the day, sometimes, so if you run a company, and your attrition rate, or you have to check yourself well. Because MPP, they've never maintained a chairman since the party was formed in 1992. Obi and you are waiting the chairman. No one can re-election. No, if you go to the next hour, we're to watching.
And what?
Because enemy believe there. Sometimes what we call institutional memory. Obwakakra. Almost say nipa so tra yeah, minimum. But the patch there, a pay for so can. What's it in so way, such a Bodamboma? What do you mean? At least let the person go and go like in Pokono because not there is no dynamics, political dynamics or upper danger Easter, Nana Onyim. He's a third term MP. Almost my anything. He's a third term MP. Ada Obi Baba Fufra Obakan Onu Onyim. Watra ordered out. You understand me? And sometimes, I believe in institutional memory. I mean, in Pokuno Ho. Look, let me tell you one thing. You know the reason why I like my general secretary so much? And this here constitution, anywhere. But for MPP, general secretary, maybe honestly a lawyer, maybe we swim, but for be a was 4 years, the next 4 years, new person, Abba, no Busu, next 4 years, no way, no what the new person for Abba. I always believe there. Keeping some people at some places, not all of them though. Keeping some people at some places, helps the organization or helps the like the movement, because but the piano, we vote new people in, then we regret voting them in. Why? Because you realize that either
we should try and maintain.
You know, it's not but it's not
all of them.
No, but maybe if the person is a failure, there's no way you should maintain the person. What I'm saying is that you don't change because that is the tradition.
Okay.
Like let's say it becomes a tradition that every 4 years NPP have a new NPP have a new chairman or new general secretary. Or every 4 years they have new set of people, and you ask yourself, so and you know one funny thing too, if the new people come on board, you realize that slowly in a new guy, old guys they go to oblivion. I mean, into one can go
listen to him too. Those
because if you look at MPP, like obi today most worker in Tomu in Aji, I mean, no a general secretary, where did be that? If you look at Kuku Butwe, where did be that?
And it's still in the parliament.
At the end of the day, if the party is meeting in Po, now or they will co-opt one Po into the neck. Just co-opt them into the neck. Ama se bibi maybe ni adie kakra bi wo ho a or the boa do what is it no na obotum wafa, but typical 4 years in here 4 years intina. If I go to Central Region, some constituency they were able to maintain some MPs, because some constituency like Gomwa East is never had an MP award twice that. They won't be that. 92 different, 96 different, 2000 different. It's only a Kopin who was able to win 2008 and well ahead to win the 2012 election.
At least some stability be or development be
development be my advice to the MPP there, you sack those who are incompetent and you maintain those who think did well, not because they're 4 years behind sanity you have to change. No way. I mean one share 1 year in America there nanado sudam in there nanado today one market there no one marketing around one marketing. Nanado was marketed in 2008. The whole 2000 from 2006 to 2008 he was marketed at Atani, and just after 2009 swearing in they started campaign again. He was marketed from 2009 all the way to 2012, and we needed only 3 months to market somebody.
Don't go over there because you know what happened when you want to call
No. That is not. We won the election.
Election they will call debate on that.
Supreme Court. You have doubts about election results now.
Oh, definitely. Some of my mom. What really happened?
Master,
that's what happened.
You see, you didn't have any option than to go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme
Court also declared.
Can probably respond.
Nanado is being marketed for how many years? Since 2008, 2006, all the way down to 2011 and 12.
6 years.
Okay.
6 years.
Okay. The late professor how long was he marketed?
The cherry. That what I'm trying to say there, it's not in a product behind a market I want to. Product, you can spend 25 years marketing a particular product. Somebody will come and launch a product for 1 month and will make more money than you product that you've been in existence for so many years.
Okay.
Until they have to look at that. One being there because we've marketed him. Listen, if somebody who can't win you election, you have to look at. You see, elections are won not only by the core base.
When you have about 5 million people voting for him,
let me say, it's not about your core base. what is the core base of NPP as a party? It's not even 40%. If you take NDC, it's the same thing. It's around 40%. So at the end of the day, if you don't appeal, yes, but Nana doesn't appeal to them.
That's your mind. That's your perception.
No, it's not my perception. It's real.
I see.
It's real. It's real. I mean, that it doesn't appeal to the.
All right. Yeah. Wrap up on this one. Nothing. I'm discuss. 1760. Now the text message. No, Abraham. Pesi. Jumbe de make us a lucky about clinic for other Romania, bro. Yadibia. Adani crown corner so bia no. O de dom lucky about clinic. Ebe wow. Akona saying that. Say NGS. Say ya tipaye. Enochi. Kuku malaria. And I say on antika kra na woni subiri wapon so. Enkoya only lucky about for ninsa also na bibia intimi enkoso emma no ngoche pepepe Dr. Mahmoud Baumia running mate to Nana Adodanko Akufo-Addo 2012 about to course no other or the same kotu edwa na it's important you say na o say isika eho asema sika nanim gua na egu ase no kwan e be fa so a e be ma na gina hoyi na enumunyam abagana cedi no was restoring the value of the cedi. They all kind of managers of the economy, no, to be precise. Nadia on modern bono, a shred. Titufa, one in share, one in the Gua Quemu, say on the Bemagana Sicano, and Munyam Abem. If we chino, there's on one casa routine and numerous miles with a bone shaker economy. When in Canes of Barefoot, bone shaker, say, Ecosa. So I say, it you know. Wasum na wansum yi ade obehu anse sinsiran that is a aginsem kra it is a you describe economy as a bone shaker economy dia that's a in a way no at the autopilot kwa na ekonyame ne hene na wan hwe yi nso dia na etifa so a sinsiran na ekodichi mu anesa probably na obetima ama interpretation dey ntia o party running mate 2012 about to no aye ebasika se montutu yenso wa bin yi e de sanse mu etuda
say to you for Adom no. Say ye basika sem so a Baumia. Say wabimo. Then some of can no. Say na kwan so pepe. Say ye bars 209. The NDC made it a point to say they're going to try to strive to be single digit all the time. Inti eno na dey adwuma single digit now na they were trumping it. Now, you drew 9. You bear single digit. But as we speak now, inflation on the ground is almost about 15%. A cost review. Now, you see, someone to any demand of the currency idea, Juma. And the nearby assistant currency, and it was much almost one, even the city was even higher than $1. So I'm sure, in the beginning, you know, that's what it was. Depreciation there, but if you look at the moment how things are going now, ubi any more. I do what you can, and your person there. If you say, honorable TA or tofu, but I am listening. If you are on tofu, the private car or tofu will go. Me tofu there we are. I don't know if it's a MP and tofu. We MP or two ones of fuel. And see, tofu there be ano. Nese who say. Kwa na ekoso nti usika samo no eno ye dey enkoyi nti inflation na ya na ye dey ebu oman sometimes no enye no nese ye hwe because we have inflation about 25% nese oman no sika samo ya it doesn't affect a lot of things but so if a single digit no because so we share European countries one is a single digit now it reflects interest rates reflects the amount of money I be going to pocket anymore. But all those things, you know, and this are.
Therefore, so you're basically just saying. So,
yeah, for so, and as we be a share, say a cost single digit, say a call. And the economy has not allowed it on that sense, you know. Now, the Baumia Ekano, I know what to say, maybe I had a say a drone. So, you're in ye, the other 2 same year. Ghana, August MP4. So, I can't any answer about MPP. Ne. Until say, you can't assume that any on Monana, Oman say, oh, and yet Oman, the MPP, and as your opposition to Nayakasa. ye kasa na ye nso ya famu adwene hu ze bia bibia be ya be boy nyina because obi kan asem na rubbish all the time abegwa no wasan be kan bi I thought say Bamia gave a lecture and everybody was rubbishing it so enye papa asem wo kan nyina enye no correct but we have come to realize that the kan nyina nso no ena eda ho no economy you fa propaganda around the economy. You have to run the economy on factuals. On the ground, the oh and the can. Say, ukwa crash na say inflation and call for ma. So we will be over crack to no inflation no who na divine.
But then I situation in common will probably maybe would say why has the cedi been depreciating rapidly recently? Odin Shemuna ba or say the recent depreciation of the cedi has resulted in several explanations being offered from official and non-official sources alike. In our collective frustration to understand what is happening to our cedi, there has been a sudden increase in the supply of economic analysis with all sorts of theories and pontifications. Some of the explanations for the current depreciation of the cedi include weak economic fundamentals and loss of confidence in the economy, dollarization, colonial structure of the economy, redenomination, single spine salary system, United States monetary policy, tapering quantitative easing, and dwarfs and jujumen, high-rise buildings, and a sign of the end of the world. But he seems not to agree because the proposal has been. But these are the reasons that if we official and non-official sources in this present administration.
And I'm sure say we need a new man. Say NDC government no eka. Say a normal way say and I juju and I say that tentene and I say there's a lot of things that ever come. But any man him say omemu na say ustembiano ubibia we could to be to know the currency which you are not using it affects you. This year to be normally na dollar the about dollar chiro. Over can see this no please see no can ebe was be no about $10,000. And they also okay. But still no back calculate is in cities and what could you. But we so born 240 million 300 million. I know they almost are here to trip about $10,000 is so kind of create with you be another country. And whereby we are using this dollarization program na yedi BPR no eha oman. Because and may be a 10 biano the appetite for importation no higher papa. And not only the cause of our problems. Say 10 biano the person you go import and you're free outside and the abaha. Na the wo krum no yen see to say behwe say e be bibi to akwamu na momu no ya. We always looking for power in exchange for development of the area. Say would you say ubaba power ntino no be ho no wajagu emwa o man. You say so ba you bold enough to say zia say president ba parliament be kan no be brave. Say import oil, rice, wheat, everything billions of dollars, which also could close the gap of the cities here for long. And no one is say as a country, we compare say what Serbia producer it's not I'm not comparing myself to anything. Except I compare myself to somebody who's higher. So that I could achieve the resource. It is yeah. We always compare ourselves to Togo, Nigeria, Benin. You can't compare yourself to those countries. So compare yourself to the developed countries, advanced countries. You want to achieve that. Say that's where you grow. If you say you want to achieve a greater height, then it is compared on that mediocre levels now. I will see myself better. It is a person anymore, and your man your boss is saying no. It won't take just one term and a year, but it's a process. Say a person who's a tomatoes factory, because I remember quite well since a late professor. We were trying to cultivate rice at Volta region. At the rate as going, I don't preach all that, I don't know. But see, continue near year and cabana no be a imputation no. Cabesobete. It is here pick all these areas, you know. There's a rice in the year. You don't have to start all over. Rice, you know, near year juma. Next year, near year be juma. And within 4 years, you know, you should be able to see say economy, you know, is growing.
But this present administration demonstrated that character and attitude that Massa Arishimu way say a bit me free baby at a process no acquainted.
I will answer. But me and baby, I have say a drew baby, pencil.
That's the question I'm asking. This the old candidate. There's a way out of the situation.
Oh, there's a way out of it. Any kind of phone, it's not one administration. So it's a continued effort. And to say you banned BBS, you say you identify your problems. Say, it's a court industrialization. There's a reason why I'm not integration, but there's a reason why Kwame Nkrumah, you know, the vision that he has on say eventually, you know, we move to industrialization process. Edina, what they say, new man, who call Harbor, drug dogs, all those G-Hawk. They are just bringing the buy, and for the reason a vacuum. So that we could process our products and be self-sufficient, we export some.
So leaders after coming,
and we are just cut pasting. We are the BB a crasher, the country, the jai. Now, you know, man, so you are not getting the process in Yaton. And the one you are going to start this, it's going to cost a lot of money. And yet, just something like and then between fix it. It's a long-term process. It will take maybe 10, 20 years for us to finish. But at least we start somewhere.
That's the question I'm asking. Is this present administration?
But if they want, they could start. See, we should not think about elections. We should think about Ghana.
That's the challenge you want.
As a country. We think too much elections, how to win elections.
But without power, so you cannot implement.
You see, you have to have something in place. See, we are learning from a lot of places. You go America, and Europe, and London. You have a policy there. Their foreign policy is there. When they come, it's a few things that changes. So, America is all Republicans for war. So, because they have to replenish their stuff for now, it's for robber. Sunday, at the Democrat for bar, a young woman going to go. And you bar this kind of place can go be bar no day or we cannot. And that's exactly what we are doing. But at least the policies are there. And it's not be brave. By Yahano, there's a vast difference. Obi Baha or Peso Ye say NPP by me say, and it was my say. You can't do that. We have to say Ghana ye Magana the Akosro. To say MPP on this and started benefit say a young quadia. We have to continue it because it's a benefit. It's Ghana's kind of decoration. And the CFA say it's kind of decoration. We get benefit out of it.
And consider Benny Besha as a two Sadamo.
But
when you're in opposition, all politicians or most of politicians who opposition have fantastic ideas and mentalities and the way forward for Mother Ghana. But when you get to power, as you say, I don't know.
And yet, when you go to power, you have to have a leader and a leadership qualities are between us for implementation, which it doesn't matter. Say, Obeko 4 years, Obeko out. But it's here to me say 4 years, no out. Next governance is coming and so on. But to me say standing my way and kind of 420, you have to continue.
And do you see that in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama? So to hell or sacrifice power for development?
Well, I don't see that at the moment because even when late Professor Atani came, okay, say a continuation of the housing project NPP. I don't care how much money has gone into it.
But the good news is that the Botman project, works a housing for some years.
But some of them are still there. And then we have a deficit. We can't even catch up to it. And we have a problem.
So what kind of leaders need here? They're all kind.
Here will be selfless leaders. Or drinking or man and all the time.
And you see that?
You see
that in another.
What's your problem? I'll answer that question. What's your problem? You work as a country. You know. You see, what's your party? Drags us so much down. Your party, because the system, the way it's set up, it drags us down. Because full soldiers, constituency, all those are the drags the party down. You may have the vision, but sometimes it's altered. And the process of implementation, the bonus assistant, I didn't try. He said pressure be free. The peripherals be ban. So much is because oh yeah, brepani about your government more. Who didn't and then we have a problem. Then you call it back into your old self. Oh, and that's a problem.
All right, all of our
and I see those things, you know, that's one of the causes of the we are facing.
It's a party for soldiers, Tata ministers, a big job on Pabua because probably you team parties or per se, Ghana and a constituency conquer. But because they be doing a once and over in Ghana, the constituency.
Bibia no order man who first. Because immediately there say o man ye full soldiers no so wo so obenya bibia ye. Nti o ya full soldiers no do wonya buter. I mean like na won there say etunya meye na ebu economy nimu. Na edwuma bama na wo so botum obo won cha botum eso nsem nyina akoba bi there o. Edwuma wonyi osimesi ana da obinti wonyi ni hye the medwuma. But going back to the I would like you to do me a little favor.
Why not?
Me pede mu hu ni solutions. I mean like solution, what are we going to do to stabilize the city? What are we going to do to like make the economy better? Maybe pede mu hu ni solutions kakra o de bay. What are solutions are? That be only solutions. I believe in one or two things. I believe you were also talking about dollarization, but he's not trying to say. He's trying to say that is the thing that we are saying. You also confirmed the dollarization so hard, but he doesn't see it that way.
He has issues about inflation. He has issues.
No, it's not the issues. What are the remedies as well-touted economists? No, what are the remedies that he is recommending to the government? That is what I want to know.
Even issues about public debt. He has reservations. Mr. Chairman.
No, having reservation, Master, I've read some of the part of the thing. Having reservation about something doesn't bring the remedy. You see, he's always a doctor of what I call diagnosis. What should we do as a state to help us get out of this quagmire, as he claims? As I say, that is what I want to know. Maybe I didn't even listen to him yesterday. I don't know what he said.
Extensive the point bullets now back you get the understanding of what
the
solutions are
there because it's easy to it's always easy to criticize, my brother. It's always easy to sit back. It's always easy to sit back and come back and be saying things. What do you recommend for the government to do? You don't wait for a government to be in power before you help another government succeed. No. What is the this thing? What are the remedies? Let
me just read this out.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, the assessment of the fundamentals of the Ghanaian economy so far point to an economy with weak and deteriorating fundamentals, including declining real growth, GDP growth, increasing inflation, double-digit fiscal deficit.
I know all these things.
He just wants to know the solutions. What can we do to solve those problems?
What is it saying can solve the problem? That is my problem.
And what I just told you is that the problem that
nothing of what he said is about. No, you are giving me. You are giving me.
Yes. It's a 50-page document. So
no,
definitely
50-page document. That's why I'm saying that let's look at where the remedies are. We can do this. We can do that. We can do this. Look, most of the things that he said are not anything new. They are nothing new. Isha, President Mama Nakasawaka, then if we are an import-dependent economy, we will always have that problem. Intina yesterday, able to yankasa drain yamuha, yankasa ya tomato paste, yankasa ya bibia ewokrom ama even raw materials are yenyanumpu, yan add value and sell ya export. These are things that are President Mama Nankasawa Canada.
And I'm sure we have all these issues because
Meba. Baumia was once the deputy governor of whatever.
Okay, I think some of the suggestions are here.
Yes, okay, give me
if you want to go back there as well. I mean, since I said
some of the suggestions are here. I'll say ensuring value for money in the award of government contracts through a transparent and competitive procurement process that minimizes sole sourcing, reducing revenue leakages with respect to tax exemptions, expansion of the tax net through the formalization of the economy, the issue of biometric national ID cards, and the implementation of a working street system are critical for the formalization of the economy. This can be completed in less than 1 year. It goes on. Dealing effectively with corruption in the management of public finances. And then it goes in again. Government should immediately undertake a biometric-based payroll audit to eliminate ghost workers, as well as implement biometric-based payment system for all public sector workers to deal with fraud in government payroll.
And my brother, you are telling me this is the first time you are hearing this? No, so is this the first time you are hearing this?
The government must restore fiscal discipline.
Forget about it. All the 4 that you've mentioned, even don't read further. All the 4 remedies that he's giving, that things that are happening already. So I don't see any new thing that he's postulating, because if you already often biometric registration of government payroll, Master, he's in the way. What you see, I mean, you can say, is something happening? What was the first one? Boss, go back, and what was the first one?
Reducing revenue leakages with respect to tax exemptions.
What are we doing now? It's something that President and even the Minister of Finance is mentioned it before. I want to see something new.
He mentioned it.
No, that is what he said. No, so don't think that you are the first person telling us. You two, you are just.
But he goes on again. In the medium term, Ghana should also consider the establishment of a politically neutral and independent fiscal institution where the executive can be held accountable through rigorous analysis of the budget.
If your party is not in power, it's never been in power before, and you talk like this, I understand you. Maybe, you see, America, it was something in his mind already, because he knows all these things. He was the deputy governor. He was the deputy governor of Bank of Ghana. Why couldn't he then, at that time, recommend to the MPP government that, look, we need an independent monetary, whatever. Master, in America,
but that argument,
Master,
we have a vice president
who was at one time the
why is the
and at that time the economy was a little stable than it is now.
He didn't think the way this is what the man is thinking.
And the economy was
this is what Baumia is thinking. And I said, the margin, I said, all the needs room. Maybe Pakwesi, but that is not what he is thinking about. Oh, no, then said, the man and the margin have been trimmer. And now I don't go Bank of Ghana and the margin will be trim. It's just a simple question. And I make a day, Master, if you're in Krafu or Kesebi worker, what's a Shoni for? Master Ejinichi, and I find that it's the preliminary or Kafa Nima, and then they are the beautiful town, and I then you see all that you need to see. And I make a day. It's always easy. Master, share, look, talk. It's cheap. But to me, you also said the same thing. Then why is it that? No, okay, so be so question me there. If I didn't say it will position, you have all the brilliant ideas. Because if you come and take over the reins of governance, you are hit by the realities of the time. You see, look, you take economic books.
But Nana drifting from that idea.
Let's move. The only thing that is Master, all these things that he's talking about, Emi economist too. But me did there, Ada Obama, Ghana, Yamwa Tonye, them, in the President Bam Equem, there, you're very sure there, Yakasa, you bring him, young Kramu, in Nama Yawinano, Onfi Ghana here, tomato sayedi, tomato puree, Wayana, Yanina or Memu, say you too, yet the mean in your menina, Juma, Nay, no Odimwa. It's not about theories. Master, theories, no, don't worry, Master, Eric said me, when you can let me tell you one thing, and there, you read economics book. I'll talk all day. You know, at the end of the day, no, share, Emi, Mekade, Obiaku school, you most working care, as I say. You read nice, you friend then. Theories about how to transform economy, do this and that kind of thing. But at the end of the day, if you put the thing vis-a-vis the realities of the ground now, go there, Sandan kakra obeying, most identity. It's always good to be academical. You know, read the and when they are talking about somebody who like the onion economics are, you see, I don't see why we sometimes we make God of people. As I say, the Baumia Kasa, you know, that is it. What are you talking about? Analysis in the Supreme Court and FAB. No, at the end of the day, no. You and I were not there. It is not the same mind that we think is the biggest mind.
But these suggestions,
Master, it's all about it. These suggestions are nothing new. Listen to our ministers, listen to our president talk, and you take the vibe of everything that he's saying.
You're not working the talk.
No, what talk? No, if you make, look, let me tell you one thing. You see, economic transformation, it takes time for you to have the feel. Let me tell you, say in year, let's say if you say you widen the tax net, how much years or how many months do you need before you can see that truly have raked in this amount of money? You know what they are saying? It is so big. Ghana, okay, even at all, having that thought is the beginning. Because, master, say I didn't show you now, madam, it can't. In the Kofobe, the Obo I am why President Waka. I said, into the crowd or can be. I said, look, you have box site idea adequate. Box site in raw format. So what on 1 ton $40?
One hour power. President is talking to you.
Master, Master, let me tell you one thing. You see, you are saying President talks too much.
President Kasa.
No, why is he talking too much?
Because we have an economic guru who says that.
Who is the economic guru? That don't mean too much. No. Even people with their professorial in economics don't call themselves economic guru.
So you don't believe what he's saying?
No, I know that. Master,
let me conclude with what he concluded.
Economic guru for what? Economic guru. What was he able to do for the NPP when he was empowered to be economic?
No.
What were the significant economic gains?
You were deputy at that time, and the economy also grew.
Listen to me. He is an MPP man through and through.
How do you know?
He was the deputy. Oh, how do I know? They come from the same image. What are you talking about?
You see, you are tagging people. That's why you have No, because if you MPP, he's also the interest.
Listen, the man was your running with
the country.
Listen, the man was your running with in 2008.
And a vice president, His Excellency. NDC member. At what point?
Oh, he's been a minister for NDC before.
And I'm saying at what point in time?
In 1994, 95.
I just wanted that clarification.
Everybody knows him to be. He was
at what point in time now, Baumia an MPP member?
Oh, no, maybe within him is an MPP because you can't just wake up. No, remember, because you can't compare Baumia to.
But in conclusion, you will give me a response. I would like to repeat without exaggeration that the Ghanaian economy is in crisis. It is time for serious action. If government does not take the right decisions and soon, then Ghana would likely have to approach the IMF underlined for a bailout before the end of the year. At the end of the day, the obvious lesson is that we cannot run away from fiscal and monetary discipline no matter how hard we try.
No, Master, you see, in America there, you see, I like the way he writes. Sanankason Ochoa, he's a very good writer. I mean, that one I'll give it to him. But at the end of the day, talk is cheap. What are you talking about?
1 minute.
You talk.
All right. Behind the scenes in the sanity, I didn't know how more, just. But we are just about wrapping up. My guy said 15 to the top of the hour 9. He paid you enough here. Didn't come in lucky about for. But I could not come for no chicken crack. Now, and quickly, to Anna Dominic Mutimama Sector Minister, Sherry Aite, and also the directives, nothing for a comment on it. If that is really the appropriate steps. But quickly, with text message, Baumia is just launching. Okay, Baumia is just launching himself as his boss, Akufo-Addo, has done. From Nana Wa Anodiweba, That's what you think. Dr. Bawumia was in his ordinary best. What new thing did he bring? Widening the tax nets? Isn't the same MPP who always preach that Ghanaians are overtaxed? It was more a political campaign talk than academic lecture. From upon Nyantechi Mankasim and honestly the way about. And then, hi, what Bawumia is saying is a political talk. He should stop and then concentrate on 2016 because 2014 we will not vote them because John is doing a great job. Eliasu, the Honorable should come again about the president. Please, Kwame, and also the Kwame and Kabe Bodi Fiba. Honorable Aquinas always goes with facts. Please tell the MPP man to be truthful to himself. God and country. Van Dyke, Oman Kasim, and also the way Abba. Oh, Dr. Bawumia, you speak like door to door from Hassan Akuse, and also the Abba. The MP for Fansman is most is good and hard-working MP in Ghana. From Conca, Mankasim, and the Mine asks Honorable Aquinas that what has happened to Sopon Victoria Park? We haven't seen anything yet. Where is the money? Honorable Aquinas, everybody's not responding to that. I'm from Upper Denchira East, and I want Nana Amwako to ask the NDC minister that when are they going to start the I am free station, because we cannot stay in the dust again. KK inform and inform no the way about. Why the city always depreciating during NDC regime? Christian Mensa Oho and also the way about. And please tell the NDC man you should stop talking about Nanado. Atamils went for 3 terms, so Nana will also go for 3 terms. Okay, that's your belief. It is a great disgrace to our country that our hospitals like Onfonoti Teaching Hospital and Kolebu do not have CCTV cameras to retrieve hidden secrets at the premises. Weber about him. Please, Ronaldo was marketed since 1999, yet still when you sell him, Ghanaians don't buy. Oh, MPP. All right. Okay, Amo Abdullahi, Aguna East, Central Region, also the way about. And then this one says that, please, Honorable NDC MP, why talk about Nanado? Please leave our next president alone. That's what you want to say. Okay, think of how to fix your corrupt government. From Suleiman Oti Secondary Zongo, the way Abba. And then it continues. A lot of your text messages are around 1760. Now they are bringing up a lucky about Fada Roma. On a Monday to Friday, Pesemu Jumedino, Yade Ebro or Badwam Jumedino. Oh, Governor, you're going to for you a bar, we comment on it. Nothing, and I want to share.
Medical and Dental Council has appealed to the Honorable Minister to extend the deadline for the final submission of their report. The Medical and Dental Council needs 28 days to conduct investigation. The complaint has been referred to the practitioner as per provisions in the section 44(2)(3)(a) and C of the Act. An emergency penal cases committee meeting has equally been scheduled for March 26, 2014 to conduct the initial inquiry. The council should submit their reports not later and recommendations not later than 15th April 2014. The Nursing and Midwifery Council is also to submit their final report not later than 15th April 2014. The midwife will be on indefinite leave until we receive the reports and recommendations from the council. Ministry of Health has also decided that the Chief Executive Officer of the Comfort Anoti Teaching Hospital should take all his accumulated leave with immediate effect. the board is directed to appoint a senior person in management to take over from him and inform the ministry accordingly. The Ministry of Health is in the process of facilitating a meeting with Madam Sweba, her lawyer, and her family to find an amicable settlement to the unfortunate incident. On behalf of the Ministry of Health, on my own behalf, I would like to thank you so much for your support.
All right, Nana, the chief executive of Confornochi proceed on leave. Dr. Fotu Bisuno, they've been suspended indefinitely, awaiting investigations. Final report. Is this necessarily the way forward for Nkwada Ira hospitals?
I mean, if it's a hospital, since I who's a problem with Abano. Say if it's a install CCTV cameras, no baby, because I do and Katamadi we see and Kawe and Yadibia, you have to rewind it until go digital. Both at the end of Kosina and can yet that is you have an operational room. Obituano or monitor. It's animal woman. If you say the minister, they can't send a quantum. They say, oh, investigation any pana or dear Nimono. I knew who crowd because OBP say we are on call and now and here that you win a BBS. If you say, or call leave now. A beboa, na maybe be as almost 2 years, or at 20 years, because you see, and we shouldn't jump for Christians to be our own hobby, but there's lapses. We are under his watch and a animal, yes. The end of the day, you know, say you really be anymore. You need a doctor, so then he should be able to come back to work.
The hospital, like I said, when I was in Ankitwe, the bedding.
Get to the answer sometimes because one time, Caucus, Lipan down time, you know, so when there's a referral, a big place. Kolobu Convention is one of the biggest hospitals I always here. And you know, Noma cover chain, baby. And he knew the SC. Say, Nipani Atona, SC because this is something that's a network, and yet Ghana Kwansadi it's a network. Nipa Obi and the band Kobe, Vina Cotono, something like this. And it's very good to say about Nayehu, because there was a tidbit scenario, maybe it did be brave. But at least we never know who say Sanumana a question if you're not into a safe.
I see. Be part of the discussion, and so probably a PJ Muhan say, Honorable Kwanas Ebekasa, before you wrap up, just when you say, on some of the Abros, and probably you want to say something. Our text message there 1760, but frame as Honorable Kwanas also the submission on Confornochi Teaching Hospital in Semi Eba, Chief Executive proceeding on leave. Now, and which is Dr. Fotu, so for now they are on indefinite suspension. Ministry, they say they are yet to meet Abayuano and then the lawyer for now not national one Eddie come. But when does it solve that problem, that fear, that protection? Teacher in your man or your mom in the show more was am I that oh, but you can give me a call. 0302-211 also why a part of this discussion.
Yeah, I'm today Oboboa Osande or the stroke a crab about because in a painful so Obama why vigilant kakra. There's maybe no one why a BB, Minka there will be a way we are banned another BB. But in Kaya keep proper records, I can you baby what the Afroban what the what the fay.
Okay.
Obey your pa there insane. Well, even the process before the insane you break a crow na insane 9 months. At I say na akowu na echi what's a ubempo we fimumpa at least into them who ban ne na the sebuke kisi no sebe and then wa wuza at I say inti emi oya titi kakra but this is not the solution. But I believe this is going to deter others who have plans of doing same. As I say, Yeah, because minjin the doctor be in the new there will be the borrow fund. But you will be there. Master, yes, Nigeria movies be brain. There is some roses so. Yes, Nigeria movies one will be a couple of billion, you know, what you will be interphone where you are from in a chin. You know, it's when you know when we can show baby, you know, you know that kind of thing. And see, seriously. Yes, we have to, especially our big hospitals, you know, the administration have to sit up and see. It might not be any of them working there. It might be an intruder coming from somewhere else, coming to just place.
No, I say it's my cartel.
Yeah, no, I know a cartel be or another ABBNT. They should go beyond the hospital walls. There are people out there who, you know, it's a movement. It's a whole cabal. It's order washing seriously because it's bad.
All right, that's my mentor was probably conscious this week.
Weekend, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, this weekend.
Another can Papa 1 week maybe.
Wanna?
Papa 1 week before.
Oh, 1 week. No, you know, one every good the 1 week they talk more.
Right, okay.
One can train with some one can train on one shed in brain 1 week in the Yababa na in Benusuna or the Ekejana and Ekejana.
What conscious every treatment here?
Oh, yeah. What best and talk about Papa and once a year. I know about my guessing for. It's a Omuhoni safe, yeah. Some of my guessing the minions say for more. You dominate and match Accra, Minion say for more.
I see. It's the weekend.
Okay.
And that's it. Mammy say I had Channel, but on time Channel. Of course, executives back or Babylon.
Oh, Mr. Fu, my fine.
About Channel, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I'm telling you, in a chairman more. You know.
Oh, Mecha, the truffle, you know, especially because executives in Mecha will be
okay. That's but that's time. I don't coach president here because a lot of text messages.
And yeah, well, you can. What's your calling in? I say, until you do so, even you be.
Okay, anyways, I am commodity. Yeah, they lucky about clinic for one and also I see if you join a couple of fiada and person move. One other room additive bro. And then you had the one who had it. You made him come or be your one free idea. The Bilibria the Wibema say, oh, yeah, Diana and Wadruno. That's the other much in Ponyago. You try 1 minute back, your bar, you better 20 minutes.